Darren Cayenne, whisper, panicked. They said it's not about killing him, it's about unplugging him from the feed. Security footage flickers. Elijah Noma on stage, gunshot, audio dropout. Elijah Noma was murdered on a university stage in front of hundreds. But the truth didn't die with him. His assistant vanished with a drive that might prove who ordered the hit. And the deleted security footage? It shows something no one was supposed to see before the world called him the missing assistant. Darren Cayenne was the heartbeat of Elijah Noma's movement. 25, graduate of Brookcrest University, double major, data systems and behavioral psychology. Elijah called him the kid who could map a mind. He wasn't just a staffer, he was the architect, the man who turned a reformer's words into a digital pulse that wrapped around the world. They called it the feed. Every time Elijah spoke, the feed listened. It wasn't simple analytics, it was empathy data, a living network measuring emotion in real time. He could see where hope spiked, where fear fell, which words healed, which ones scared the powerful. It was beautiful and dangerously effective because the moment data starts steering hearts, someone somewhere wants the steering wheel. And Darren built it. Detective audio clip. When did you last see Mr. Cayenne? Staffer. 2 hours before the shooting. He was uploading something. Said it had to go live if anything happens. Detective. Did it? Staffer. No. The servers went dark at 7:14 p.m., 1 minute after the shots were fired. A minute. That's all it took for a movement built on connection to flatline. Darren Cayenne wasn't just running, he was being hunted. 2 weeks later, Brookcrest University issued a press release. All security feeds from the auditorium were corrupted by a power surge. Neat, clean, bullshit. Cyber forensics didn't buy it. Universities don't just lose 6 simultaneous HD feeds by surge. A student analyst, Lydia Chen, found traces of deleted backups on an off-site server. 23 seconds of footage survived. She leaked it anonymously at 3 a.m. on a student forum. By sunrise, it was gone. But one journalist downloaded a fragment before it vanished. That file landed on my desk. And what it shows changes everything. 23 seconds, no audio. Distorted video. But frame by frame, the truth breathes through static. Frame 1, Elijah Noma, on stage answering a question. Frame 2, spotlight flickers, a power drain. Frame 3, audience turns left. Frame 4, a figure stands in the balcony, gray jacket, no university badge. Frame 5, something metal glints. Frame 6, audio cuts. Frame 7, 3 flashes. Frame 8, Elijah drops. Frame 9, panic, screams, blur. Frame 10, at the exit, another man raises a phone. Frame 11, enhance, pause, freeze. Frame 12, facial match found, name, Marcus Vane, Federal Liaison to Delcor Strategies LLC, not a student, not security, a government liaison. So why was he there? And why did his agency wipe the feeds hours after the shooting? Because Elijah Noma wasn't just a reformer anymore, he was a vector. Their word for a mind that spreads too fast to contain. In a 2019 classified briefing, the name appeared for the first time. Objective: prevent destabilization of national identity through influence propagation. In plain English, silence anyone who makes people think for themselves. Elijah's feed qualified as a national risk, not because it bred terror, but because it bred awareness. He was making people too awake to manipulate. Delcor Strategies was hired to neutralize information hazards. Neutralize, their word, not mine. They couldn't erase Elijah's voice in the ballots, so they erased him in real life. Dr. Leona Graves, Elijah's political director, broke her silence on live TV. Graves. They didn't have to kill him. They could have deleted his accounts, cut his funding, but Elijah was too real, too human. So they made an example. Anchor. You mean a message? Graves. Exactly. A bullet as a warning shot to the future. 3 days after the assassination, Darren's phone pinged once. Georgia. Then again, 2 states north. Each time less than 5 seconds. That's how they knew he was alive. A private investigator tracked the signal to a cheap motel outside Raleigh. Room 23. Burned laptop. Note on the bed. If they find me, the truth dies with me. If you find this, open ENV signed with 3 dots in ink. Morse code for SOS. Weeks later, the FBI cracked the file. ENV equals Elijah Noma vector. Inside were maps linking Elijah's speeches to real-time emotion surges across social media. It proved that consciousness could be charted like weather. Every time he spoke about transparency and energy lobbying, stock volatility spiked for a company named Delcor. 2 days before the shooting, Delcor executives dumped $72 million in stock. Coincidence? Yeah, sure. Elijah wasn't killed for politics. He was killed for profits. Journalist. What if the motive wasn't ideology but economy? What if Elijah was a threat not to power but to profit? At 2 a.m., Hendricks' butler, Malcolm, delivered an envelope. Inside, a photo. Darren Cayenne, alive, captured by traffic cam outside Langley, Virginia. Hendricks. Langley? That's CIA territory. Journalist. So he's safe? Hendricks. No, he's leverage. A week later, a recording leaked from a restricted server. Voice analysis confirmed it. Marcus Vane and a female official. Vane. Vector protocol was never supposed to be public. Woman. He was going to win. He was making people believe again. Vane. Belief is dangerous when it's honest. We neutralized a virus, then click. Silence. A month later, a video appears on the dark web, titled, The Light They Feared. It's Darren, hollow-eyed, alive, speaking fast, desperate. Darren, if you're watching this, they found me. Operation Vector isn't a program, it's a policy. It's how they decide who the world gets to listen to. Elijah cracked it. That's why they killed him static. Then a flash of coordinates before the feed cuts. The coordinates lead to an abandoned data center in Virginia. Rows of servers, fans still humming, one screen flickering in the dark, a single line of text on the monitor. Silence is not neutral. The system auto-uploads a file onto the network. File name, Project Inheritance, encrypted, password protected, 5 attempts remaining. Hendricks, you asked who wanted Elijah silenced? Look around. It's everyone who profits from quiet journalists. You're saying the government killed him? Hendricks, no. The system did. Governments are temporary. Silence is forever. The truth is never just buried. It's archived, classified, protected by people who pretend not to know. But Elijah Noma's voice is bleeding through the firewalls, and somebody, somewhere, is listening. The upload finished at 3:42 a.m. One file, 7 petabytes. It had one purpose: to outlive the people who wanted it buried. The name on the screen said it all. Project Inheritance. Project Inheritance wasn't data storage, it was data replication, a digital Noah's Ark for every dangerous idea the establishment wanted to drown. Inside the vault were not just Elijah's speeches or policies. It held entire emotional ecosystems. Every tweet, email chain, neural response, and empathy pattern from the feed. If Operation Vector deleted voices, Project Inheritance cloned conscience, and someone, Darren, had just lit the fuse. The moment the file hit the dark web, proxy nodes started spinning up like fireflies across the map. 15, then 40, then hundreds. Every mirror a heartbeat, every heartbeat a copy of Elijah's legacy. But a leak this loud doesn't go unnoticed. Within hours, cyber forensics at Delcor and Cerberus Analytics declared a level red continuity event. Translation: they'd lost control of the narrative. A war began, silent, invisible, fought through code. One side trying to spread the light, the other trying to bury it alive. Lines of code became trenches. Server farms became battlefields. And at the center of the storm was Darren Cahan, a ghost hacking from somewhere in the Appalachians, running on a stolen satellite uplink. Each time Cerberus shut a mirror down, he spawned 3 more. He called them lanterns. Darren recorded chat log. Every time they turn off a light, we light 3 more. That's how Elijah taught us by dawn. Project Inheritance was no longer one file. It was a movement, alive again. The first sign of resurrection came on a Sunday morning news feed, a live stream from somewhere in Seattle, thousands watching. On screen, a synthetic voice reading from a podium, Elijah's voice. Elijah, AI clone. If truth is dangerous, then fear has already won. People froze, some cried. It was too real. The clip was shared 6 million times in a day. Within a week, #ElijahLives trended worldwide. Governments called it deepfake terrorism. Followers called it digital resurrection. The system struck back. First came the cyber purges, mass account deletions, glitches, blank timelines. Then came the smear campaigns, anonymous articles claiming Elijah had laundered foreign money, slept with staff, rigged surveys, every lie tailored to split his followers. But it didn't work, because by then, Elijah wasn't a person you could discredit. He was a network of belief. At the same time, mysterious emails hit inboxes of journalists around the world. Subject line: inheritance verification. Each email contained a unique access key and the same line of text: silence is not neutral. When the first reporter used the key, a portal opened, a dashboard showing real-time updates of where Elijah's ideas were spreading. The feed was back, open source. And it was unstoppable. That's when they found the core of Project Inheritance, a folder hidden deep under the code name Genesis Seed. Inside were documents dated years before Elijah's rise, blueprints for influence manipulation, election maps, psychological warfare frameworks, and a signature, Marcus Vane. Only the dates didn't match. They were from 2 years after Vane was reported dead, meaning someone was still signing his name. Hendricks. Vane was a mask. There's always a mask. And behind the mask? An architect. The name appears for the first time in metadata. Architect. L0. No photo, no record. Just one line of description buried in an old contract. Oversight agent for cognitive containment. By now, Darren's face was everywhere. Some called him a traitor, others a prophet. FBI listed him as a cyber terrorist. Activists called him the last witness. He vanished again, this time into the mountains of West Virginia. Every few days, a signal pinged from a different hilltop. Every ping carried a tiny update to Project Inheritance, as if he was feeding it oxygen from underground. Meanwhile, Sarah Cayenne, his sister, kept speaking out. In a live podcast, she said, "Sarah, they didn't just kill Elijah. They killed the idea that truth could be civil. Darren's keeping it alive. If they find him, That's the end of hope. 2 nights later, she was arrested for data tampering, released without charges, but her phone was never returned. A month after the leak, Delcor's headquarters in D.C. went dark. Servers fried, fire alarms blaring. Official reports said electrical fault. Unofficially, a cyber counterstrike from the Inheritance Network. Anonymous hacktivists posted a video, a loop of Elijah saying, "Silence is not neutral," overlaid with a new tagline, "We inherit the fight." Delcor vanished from the internet within 72 hours, their domain redirected to Elijah's foundation website. Then came something no one expected, a leak from inside Cerberus itself. A former analyst named Noel Rivas emailed The Guardian with a 50-page confession. He admitted Cerberus helped stage the assassination, said Elijah's vector risk rating crossed the containment threshold. His statement ended with this line, "The architect signed off." We all knew what that meant. Within 48 hours, Rivas was found dead in his apartment. Official cause, suicide. The file coroner's report marked the timestamp as exactly 7:13 p.m. The same minute Elijah was shot. Coincidence again. Darren finally made contact. An encrypted live stream appeared on a dark web mirror called the Lantern Room. He looked exhausted, beard grown, eyes bloodshot. "Darren, they think Inheritance was a data dump. It's not. It's a mirror for the human conscience. It learns what we ignore. The more we pretend not to care, the smarter it gets. That's why they're terrified." He typed a password. The screen behind him lit up. Rows of faces, millions of them, appeared. Users connected to the feed worldwide. The system was alive again. Darren, Elijah didn't want a following. He wanted a conversation. And they killed him because you can't censor a conversation that won't stop talking. Then his stream cut to black. A single line remained. "Watch the sky." Minutes later, observers picked up a signal from a low-orbit satellite. It was broadcasting data in Elijah's encryption pattern. The file tag, airlock. Hendricks called me from his study. His voice was shaking for the first time. "Hendricks, he's uploading it off planet. If it finishes, Inheritance can't be deleted, ever." I asked if that was good or bad. He paused. "Hendricks, depends who inherits it. Airlock was a fail-safe Elijah designed long before his death. A quantum mirror on a private satellite capable of storing every iteration of the feed indefinitely, unreachable, uneditable. But as the upload neared completion, a new transmission appeared. System alert. External override initiated. An unknown IP, no country, no trace, was hijacking the airlock. And then a voice cut through the feed. Unknown voice. "Inheritance belongs to us now." The screen went white. When the signal returned, a face appeared, blurred, distorted, gender indistinct, eyes like static. "Architect, you played your part well, Mr. Cain, but every system needs a gardener. You plant the truth. We decide what grows." He leaned closer to camera. "Architect, tell Hendricks the experiment worked." Then he was gone. Airlock transmission terminated. Project Inheritance status unknown. The world split overnight between those who believed Elijah's voice was now a weapon and those who believed it was a warning. Parliamentary hearings, corporate trials, suicides. The phrase Operation Vector became a meme for institutional lies. But beneath the noise, something quieter happened. Ordinary people started talking again. Communities hosting open forums using Elijah's AI voice to mediate debate. No screaming, no bots, just conversation. exactly what he wanted. The system tried to weaponize his ideas. Instead, it resurrected his method. Maybe that's the real inheritance. They killed a man for speaking softly. They tried to erase his data, his echo, his faith in reason. But you can't kill an idea whose time has a backup. Elijah Noma once said, "When you bring a candle into a dungeon, you don't just scare the rats. You expose the kings in hiding too." Maybe that's what happened here. Maybe the kings are finally running out of shadows. Because for every file they delete, another voice speaks. For every truth they bury, a copy waits in the cloud. And somewhere, out there, a satellite is still humming, its light blinking through the dark, waiting to be found.